Welcome to the Rat Race to Fi podcast, where we discuss money, mindset, real estate investing, and ways to achieve financial independence. Whether you are a rookie or a veteran needing new ideas for investing or creating side hustles, you're in the right place. Here to challenge you to think out of the box, your hosts, Felipe Mejia and Diego Corzo.
Welcome to the Rat Race to Fi podcast. Diego, we have an amazing guest today. We have the CEO of REI Caller Center, a business partner of us, of us. Okay. Anyways, we have a great guest today. We have Anton. Dude, stay to the end though, because he talks about how he finds the VAs to help people in their real estate business. And he talks about even us, we talk about the time and how important it is to have your time back versus spending time cold calling. And you talked about no, you should spend your time with people that are saying yes, that they want to sell a house versus out there trying to find the needle in the haystack.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a great interview because it also shows what has the trajectory of somebody that joined also Rat Race, right? That came into our world to his first year making $50,000 in wholesale fees and then creating a company that now we're helping over 100 wholesalers and realtors find off-market deals. So yeah, it's definitely a great podcast. You guys are in for a treat, so can't wait. Let's get to it.
Yeah, I love it. All right, guys, let's get over to Anton. Welcome to Rat Race to Fi podcast. Super excited to have you on today, Anton. Diego, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's up? I am doing well. Recording this on a Friday. It's good.
I love it. Anton, so Diego just got back from Miami, right? And before we got recording, I was calling Diego a sucio because he's got a little bit of a congestion. No, not even a congestion. Just when you wake up in the morning and your voice is a little raspy. So I was like, Diego was being a sucio in Miami. And he was like, no. And I was like, it's okay, Diego. You didn't choose the sucio life. The sucio life chose you. We fell out of our chair.
This guy.
All right, guys. But we're not here to talk about Diego today. We have Anton on the podcast. Anton is the CEO of REI Caller Center. He is a member of Rat Race to Fi Mastermind. He's been with us for quite a while now. He has an excellent story about $100,000 profit on a flip that he did. He has been able to find cold callers overseas. He's got a great network. He's an awesome guy. He also lives actually in Miami. But Anton, tell us a little bit about yourself. And actually, we have recorded you in the past, but for a different reason. Today we have you on because like I said, you're the CEO of REI. But we want to know how you got there. How did that even come about? How did you find virtual assistants? Because that's not easy to do. I know people charging thousands of dollars for that. Anton, thanks for coming to Rat Race to Fi. Tell us again, for those who didn't listen to the first podcast, who you are, what you do. Give us a little 30,000 foot view, brother.
Felipe, Diego, it's awesome being back. Thank you so much for inviting me back on this podcast. I know last time we went into my story a little bit on how I got here, but I would love to give it a little bit more detail, a little bit more juice, a little bit more that secret sauce, I guess, if you want to call it. But how would you like me to start? How soon would you like me to go back into this journey?
So I'm assuming your parents fell in love and then they got together and then no. Let's start from Rat Race, bro. How did you find Rat Race? And let's just go from there.
Awesome, man. Yeah. So Rat Race has really changed my life. It's one of those things that you don't expect to happen, and it happens, and everything completely just turns upside down on your life in a good way, in a very, very, very good way. The way that I found Rat Race to Fi was I was a big fan of the Bigger Pockets Rookie podcast, which I listened to religiously. And that's where I've heard and I met Felipe Mejia. He was a great host. He asked the fantastic questions. I really enjoy listening to you, Felipe. And I'm not saying this just because I'm on your podcast. It was really, really, really good to listen to you, to your experience. And the way that I connected with you was that you weren't one of those big guys that are usually on the Bigger Pockets podcasts that have thousands of units, right? Millions of dollars. I mean, but you were this down-to-earth guy who worked hard and made it, right? And that's how I was able to connect with you. I started following you on Instagram, and I'll never forget that one night when I was watching one of your lives and you were in Daytona, Florida, doing a live. And I just jumped on that live and I asked you a question. how can I join your mastermind that you were talking about on that live, Rat Race to Fi. I had no clue what a mastermind was. I had no clue what Rat Race to Fi was. But all I knew is I really respected you, Felipe, and I wanted to be part of your group. And I remember you saying, hey, hit me up or DM me right after this live with your phone number, and I'll give you a shout. And in all honesty, I thought, all right, cool. Well, maybe in the future, why not, right? I didn't think you were going to respond as quick as you did. Guys, Felipe literally called me 10 seconds after he finished the live. I texted him the DM. Here's my number. If you're in Miami, I'd love to buy you a drink. Felipe calls me right away. Hey, what's up, man? This is Felipe. I'm like, what? Like really, really, really starstruck. To be honest, Felipe, back then. Still, man, I respect you a lot, brother. So I was like, no way. Is this Felipe? And he was like, yeah, man, what's up? What's going on? We just talked on the live, and I'd love to invite you to this mastermind called Rat Race to Fi. We actually have a call tonight. I'm like, no, get out of here. He's like, yeah, jump on. I'll send you the link, and then you'll decide. I was like, okay, cool. He sends me the link right away. Literally, I think an hour later, we jump on my first Rat Race to Fi Zoom call, and I just got hooked. I just fell in love with the group of people that were on there, with the speaker that was on there, with the energy, with how everybody supported each other. And I'm like, I gotta be on this. I gotta be part of this. I definitely don't want to lose this opportunity. And after that first Zoom call, I contacted Felipe once again, and I said, hey man, send me, how do I sign up? How do I get into this? I would love to be part of this. And I'll be honest with you guys, in the beginning, for those of you who are listening to this and are skeptical about those masterminds or whatever, those things that really, you got to put yourself outside of your comfort zone to join. And I was, for some time, skeptical about it because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know how it worked. I thought maybe, no, there's a lot of gurus out there, but I really respected Felipe. So that's why that kind of just went over my head. And since then, guys, I'm here. So what questions you got?
That's cool.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like every person that I've ever interviewed, or every person that I respect or I see value in their life, or worth following even on social media, has taken a chance on themselves, or has taken a risk on themselves, or at bare minimum does two things: read books and invest in themselves. And like, you joined the Rat Race to Fi call, and that was time, right? Like, you invested your time and you were thinking about joining and doing it. And now seeing your growth has all come not from Rat Race. It has come from an action that you took to join Rat Race. See, the gym doesn't change people. It's the action you take to go to the gym that changes you. It's that, like, damn, I got to wake up. Like, I went to the gym this morning and it was like, great, I got to wake up and I got to go to the gym this morning. Like, it's the action. It's not actually the gym, right? It's not Rat Race. It's the action that people take because of Rat Race. We just created a pond. People come and drink, and they do what they can or will with that knowledge that they learn, right? Diego and I pour our heart and soul into Rat Race. We spend way too much time, in my opinion, talking about it. My wife's always like, Mondays and Wednesdays, my family knows, like, that's it. Just from 7:30 or 7 to 9, like, I'm in my office, I'm doing Rat Race, I'm pouring into it. And it's interesting because now Anton is on the other side of that with REI Call Center. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to how now you pour your heart and soul into what could be called a mastermind, but it's more of a community of investors. But we'll get to that part. Okay, so you joined Rat Race. You started taking action right away, and you made $1 million your first month, right? That's how that happened?
Obviously not, no.
Obviously not. So what happened after you joined Rat Race? Give us your real estate story. Give us how you started investing, and then we'll get to business after.
You got it, man. Yeah, and to add to what you were saying, I think it's you and all the Rat Race members, their families know that from 7 to 9, it's nothing but real estate, nothing but Rat Race to Fi. It's just, it takes over your life in a way, in a really, really fantastic way, because you get to be a part of that group. So you, and I think all of us, Felipe.
Everyone, so, yeah.
Thanks to you guys. Thanks to you.
There's a Rat Race member who his wife calls it a cult. Like, she's like, oh, are you gonna go listen in on your cult call?
No, man, you and Diego. And then you got those Diego after hours, which is
Yes.
you leave, Felipe, and the rest of us, especially me on the East Coast, being up until midnight, listening to Diego answering all the questions. It's just amazing.
Diego after hours, is that what it is? Like, that's got
Yes.
nothing to do with, like, that was never in the plans for Rat Race, but like
No.
Diego always stays after 9 o'clock when we're done and just helps people answer questions, which is great.
Yeah.
And he always texts me like, all right, just got done. It's like 11:30. I'm like, dude, it's late, bro. Like, people, it's 1 a.m. in some places.
It's cool. It's cool. I like it. I like it. Giving value.
It's insane, man. And then trying to go to sleep after that. I'm sorry to cuss on this podcast, but it's incredible. It's just so much energy that Diego gives out. So anyway, let me go ahead and just talk a little bit about my journey since I joined. Being part of that group, being part of a group that really pushes you, motivates you, and really has the right mindset and the right goals, it really just changes your whole life, guys. And I feel like that is the real secret sauce, is get yourself around the people that have the same mindset, have the same grind, have the same goals as you do. Especially being an immigrant to this country, guys, I connected even more on this, because I honestly believe, and I don't want to offend anyone by saying this, but from what I see is immigrants are hustlers. They come to this country, they know what the other side looks like. And they're like, I don't want to be on that side. I want to be on this side and more, right? So that also, guys, really, I think, connected with me even more. So I was around this group of people that were hustlers, that were trying to work, trying to be better every single day. And when I joined Rat Race, I didn't know much about real estate other than, again, reading the books, listening to the podcast, but nothing really major. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I'll never forget the question that Diego Corzo asked me. He's like, what do you want to do, Anton, in real estate? I had no clue, guys. I was so nervous when he asked me that question. The first thing that came to my mind was house hack, because that was the thing back then that everybody were talking about. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know what it really was, other than just having people live in your house. But I just said house hack, right? And he's like, okay, cool. And after being on a couple of calls in Rat Race to Fight, I was still trying to find that niche of what I want to go and do, because, you know, there's so many things that you can do in real estate. And I remember one night during Diego after hours, his brother jumps on.
That is how everything starts. One night in Diego's after hours call.
Yes.
That's when all the good stuff comes out.
Yeah, that's where all the good stuff comes out, man. Felipe, you're gone, but at the same time, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sure.
So he jumps on. I don't know who this guy is, but everybody's excited, and he starts talking about his business in Jacksonville, and he's doing wholesaling. And I was really skeptical. Well, not skeptical, but I just didn't know what wholesaling was. I heard about it. I just didn't know what it was. I knew you had to pay thousands of dollars probably to learn what wholesaling is and then try to do your own deal, right? So because it just looks so complicated. And then Gonzalo jumps in and starts talking about wholesaling. It makes it sound so straightforward, simple, and down to the point, down to earth. And I got hooked. The next morning, I text Diego. I was like, hey, Diego, can you please ask your brother if he's willing to teach me how to wholesale? I'll find the deal. I'll pay them the assignment fee. I don't want any money. I just want to learn, because I know he can teach me.
Let me stop you right there. So you used Rat Race correctly. Textbook how to use a mastermind. Felipe, what does that mean? I'm so glad you guys asked. So Rat Race is not a get rich quick. Rat Race is not a pill to success. Rat Race is not a place for entertainment. Rat Race is for you to find what it is that you like. We're going to give you the tools, and you got to build the house, right? Anton came, he thought he wanted house hack. He thought he wanted this. He thought he wanted that. And he stayed focused, listened to the calls, and something stood out. Bam. Gonzalo's brother. So Anton showed up. Let's start with that. You showed up. Diego's brother came on the call, started talking about it, and it piqued your interest. And from there, you hit the ground running, right? So like, that's what people don't understand about a mastermind, is like, you're not going to go there. And if you're expecting to go to a mastermind and then they tell you, like, if you're expecting the mastermind to tell you what to do and then you're going to be successful, no, you're going to fail. Because here's one of our biggest things at Rat Race, Anton. One of our biggest, not fears, but like something that we try to like protect, I guess you could say, is like the integrity of Rat Race, where it's like, okay, Diego, when is too much too much? Because we talk about real estate, we talk about flipping, wholesaling, we talk about credit, we talk about e-commerce, there's so much stuff that we can talk about. And it's like, what we don't want, here's the thing, this is the thing, Anton and listeners, we don't want people to have like shiny object syndrome, but then at the same time, we don't want to not give out enough information. So there's kind of like that fine line where like, we need people to be able to like you did, find what you like, and then we're going to give you the resources to attack that, and so forth and so on, right? So at bare minimum, you need to come in with an open mind, but not get shiny objects in, because we're going to bring experts in all of the fields, and all of the fields are accessible to everyone, but also do bring success. You just have to pick which one you like, right? If you haven't listened to Diana's podcast, I can't remember the number, but Diana was on the podcast before, and she's talked about short-term rentals. And anyway, so like Diana found what she liked. And now, Anton, you found something different that you like, but within the same mastermind, right? Like Anton found wholesaling and the business of wholesaling, and Diana found short-term rentals, and Tiago and Philip, I love those guys. Those guys bought up every single family home in Augusta, Georgia that they could find, right? So like, it's about finding what you love and want to do within the mastermind, and not just coming and expecting like, oh, I'm going to get everything from the mastermind. They're going to tell me what to do, and then I'm going to be successful. No, you got to put in the work. All right, let me get off my high horse. Back to Anton. Anton, Diego's brother, you wanted to do a deal. Go.
Yes. So I contacted Diego, told him that, and he texted me back right away. He's like, here's G's number. Gonzalo, we call him G. Here's G's number. Text him.
Just straight up gave you his number.
What's that?
I would have been scared to call him. I'm just going to be honest.
I'll be honest. I didn't call him. I was at the gym. I texted him exactly the same thing.
Nice.
Honestly, I just forwarded the text. Hey, G, this is Anton. It was awesome hearing you on the Rat Race to Fi last night. Here's this. And he responds right away. He says, hey, man, no need to give me any of your money. No need to give me any your deal. But let's go ahead and jump on a call. I'll give you an hour of my time, and I'll answer any questions you got. Done. I think that was Thursday. We scheduled a call on Saturday, right? So again, guys, about taking that action. Like Felipe was saying, I agree 100%. It's not just coming there, listening, and using it, as Felipe says, as entertainment. Take that action. Right away, I scheduled a call with Gonzalo Saturday morning, 9 a.m. That guy was in the office meeting with me. And that's also was very inspiring for me. So him and I got on a Zoom call, went through the entire process. He explained me how everything worked. And I really, really, really got hooked. And like Felipe says, when you find something that sticks, just stick with it and go, right? And that's what I did. And honestly, I can say that now. Back then, I was not experienced, didn't have the confidence, the knowledge, any of that, right? And honestly, scared. And that's what most people probably are when they start something new. They're scared. They're excited, but at the same time, they're scared because they don't know if this is really going to work out. But no matter what, guys, the thing about it is just stick with it, no matter what. And that's what Gonzalo told me. He told me a little bit about his story. If you guys ever get a chance to hear him on a podcast, he's just an incredible story as well, because he stuck with it, even in the beginning when it was difficult. And that's what really inspired, again, connect with me. He didn't make it sound like it was this magic pill. It was something that you do, you put the work in, and you get the results. I did exactly that, guys. That year, I was able to close 7 deals. I got about $50,000 in assignment fees, not a lot, but at the same time, it was enough to give me that confidence, to give me that knowledge, to give me that push. And it led me to my first flip, which was unexpected, that Felipe mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, where I actually netted $100,000 in one day.
Bum, 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 bum. I wish I had those really cool buttons, Diego, that are like, bum, bum,
yeah.
bum,
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, that one.
That one. That's good. That's good. Dude, Anton, so you said that you had seven assignment fees. In what time span?
In about a year, in about 12 months.
Okay, so in about 12 months.
I did about the same thing, actually, my first year. I did about 79,000, 7 to 9 assignments my first year. That's crazy. Yeah, I did the exact same thing.
But dude, for you, Felipe, too, that is great. Anton, freaking awesome. And what I want to get to is that, you guys did this part-time. Like
Oh, yeah.
$50,000 is what some people make in a year.
Yep.
And you, Felipe, it was your first year doing it, and you learned from my brother. Anton, first year doing it, you learned from my brother. Not saying that my brother is awesome, but he is awesome. But where I'm going at is that you guys took action, but doing it part-time plus making really good money, because $50,000 is, it's a lot. Like it feeds a family. So remember that. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't make that much, but dude, that is amazing. So congratulations on that, because it becomes what started as a side hustle, right? It can later turn into a business. And Felipe's business now this year's on track to make over $500,000. And then Anton, you also, after that, I know that you got into the VAs. So can you share a little bit on how you began to maximize your time, because you also have a full-time job? You maximize your time by hiring VAs. Can you share a little bit on that?
Yes. So one of the secrets that Gonzalo shared with me on his call is that all of the cold calling that he does through VAs, virtual assistants that he hires from overseas. And I did ask him, how does he find them? How does he pay them? Again, he was very transparent, very open. How does he manage them? And he did give me some information. I had to do a little bit of research, of course, guys. He gave me an hour of his time, but at the same time, he did explain to me the nuts and bolts of it. So I said, great, I need to go ahead and, like Diego said, I do have a full-time job, W-2. I need to go ahead and maximize my time during the day and figure out how I can go ahead and get these leads in coming in for my wholesaling business. Now, if you're just starting wholesaling, Gonzalo did recommend that I do make at least 50 phone calls myself, which I did, which was really, really hard. And this was ridiculous. Not the best way to spend your money, guys, or time. It's just crazy, just how many people, what kind of answers you get. Anyway, so I tried it on my own. Knew I didn't like the whole process of cold calling. So I said, I got to go ahead and do what Gonzalo does since he's successful and delegate this stuff out. I hired a couple of cold callers that I found on my own overseas. I didn't use it. I just used what I could and had the resources, and found a couple. They didn't work out, found a couple more, and started this thing going. After I got my first couple of deals, I remember Diego and Felipe reaching out to me and saying, hey, Anton, can you go ahead and come into the Rat Race to FI call and just talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing? I did. I came in on the call. I told them about the VAs that I'm using for cold calling. Of course, guys, next day I get a bunch of texts and calls. Hey, can you help me find a VA? I started doing that. I started for a couple of people. I started looking for VAs. I said, yeah, of course. Why not? I'm going to go ahead and share the love and just give back as well. That's what I wanted. Felipe calls me.
So before we get to the Felipe, I was waiting for that moment. Okay. This is huge. I want everyone to pause and listen to this part of the story. This is huge because Gonzalo is not dumb. He knows that there is an X factor in business about giving back that helps your business as well. Is there a formula? Is there a calculation? I don't think so. But Gonzalo took the time out of his day. I wonder what an hour of Gonzalo's time is. Holy crap. He's making $8 million a year this year. Like, that calculation is crazy. He gave Anton an hour of his day to talk about his business. And he probably didn't know it in the moment, but that was going to come back to him tenfold. And we might talk about that at the end, but it does. And now Anton decided to do the same thing and help the next person in line with VAs and stuff like that. And then the phone rings and it's Felipe. Anton.
Felipe calls. Say, hey, Anton, what it is that you're doing? I see, can you find me a couple of cold callers myself? I said, yeah, Felipe, sure. Long story short, we find him, I think, one or two, Felipe. And Felipe says, Anton, how much do I owe you for this? I said, no, Felipe, you don't know me, man. You already gave me a lot. Being part of Rat Race to Fight led me to this. I'm just so grateful for you. Anyway, so I said, nothing. He's like, no, I got to pay you for this, man. Your time is worth some money. You put the time to find these callers. I said, no, Felipe, no, please. I know this is somehow, someday is going to come around. That's what I told him. Great, cool. A few more people reach out. I started posting this on Instagram saying, hey, guys, if you need help with finding a cold caller. After that call with Felipe, he did tell me that, hey, Anton, your time is worth your money, right? So I started charging a little bit of money for these callers that I was basically just giving out. You would call me. I said, hey, I'll find you a caller. This is a fee that I'll find you the caller for. Have fun. I would not do anything else. Just find the caller. And then I get another call from Felipe. I'll never forget this point also. It's like one of those things that happen in your life, guys, that you'll never forget. Hey, Anton, I see what you're doing. Do you want to jump on a call with Diego and I later on today to talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing with finding these callers?
But before you go on, I want to hear, okay, so from that first time I called you, Anton, to like that second time I called you to talk about the business, there was a phone call in between that went to Diego. And I want Diego to talk about the calls that I make to him when I have an idea that's in my head that I can't stop thinking about. So before I called you, Anton, I called Diego.
Yeah, Felipe calls me, and he's done this a few times at 11:30 at night. He just calls me. When he calls me at that time, I know that it's going to be an idea. So
what are you doing during that time? Like, are you in bed? Are you like
sometimes
just winding down? What are you doing at 11:30 when I call you?
Yeah, I mean, during those times, yeah. And yeah, just chilling. And I'm like, oh man, maybe it's an idea. I mean, it's definitely an idea. So I answer, and then Felipe is like, hey, Diego, what do you think about this or that? And about what you're about to share, Anton. And I was like, okay, well, I'm always open. I always open to listen to opportunities. So I'm like, okay, let's see what's out there. Let's see what can come up. And let's see what the team is going to construe. Because it's really important that whenever Felipe has his ideas, which there are a lot, and some are like freaking amazing, and those amazing ones are like, heck yeah, let's go. It's more from the perspective of like, we need to have the right people in place to make sure that we can execute the right way. So yeah, I was excited, and I'm like, let's get some more information. So Anton, take it from there.
Felipe, he was actually salsa dancing. That is what Diego does every single night, 11:30.
That's exactly what
Probably.
So probably he was like in between songs.
Right? Yes.
To run outside, take the call. No, but yeah, so Felipe calls me, says, hey, would you like to go ahead and jump on a call with Diego and I and talk a little bit about this, what it is you're doing? I said, great. Same night, we jump on a call. And Felipe and his amazing ideas, like Diego just said, Anton, I think we're onto something here. I think we can help people, not only just providing them with cold callers, but providing them with trained cold callers, managed cold callers, build this into a system where we can provide to others that they can do and replicate exactly what it is that we're doing, what Felipe was able to do, what I was able to do, what Gonzalo's doing, and put it into a quote unquote a box, a system in a box, and provide it to others. Everybody were agreed on point. Now it's time to build this business. So I'm not sure how detailed you want me to go into this, but guys, since then, Felipe, Diego, Adam, and I have become business partners, which is in and of itself is incredible. If you would have told me this when I made that call or made that first Rat Race to Fi Zoom call, I would have laughed and never probably believed it. But at the same time, guys, that's what kind of leads it to it. So Rat Race led me to what now is known as REI Call Center. Felipe is Diego.
I love bum, 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 bum.
So
Anton,
really quick. So that led to REI Call Center. And just if you can, just share from a 30,000 foot view or whatever, how many clients are we now helping find off-market deals, and what does that look like?
In less than 12 months, guys, REI Call Center has been able to help over 125, I believe, clients we're at now, guys. Probably even more, honestly, because we also provide a service where we pay by call. So I think we help many more people in the background as well in terms of what are we doing. But in general, what it is, guys, is we are helping wholesalers who are struggling to find off-market leads, who have W-2 jobs, who need that system for acquisitions, to finding the deals that then they're going to go ahead and sell on the market to an investor. 30,000 foot view of what REI Call Center is, Diego. It's a system for acquiring off-market deals. You come to us and you said, hey, I'm looking for off-market deals. Whether you're a wholesaler, you're a realtor, since then we worked with flippers, buy and hold investors who are looking for off-market deals. Mm-hmm. We provide them with a system which includes a professionally managed, trained cold caller. But that's not it, right? I mean, cold caller.
I was going to say, yeah, Anton, why don't you just go into what? So REI Call Center, let's say I sign up for REI Call Center. Today, REICallCenter.com. Oh, sweet, the big red button. I want a cold caller. Wow. What happens?
Awesome. As soon as you sign up, you get an email and a text message saying, welcome to REI Call Center. Please fill out this quick form. This quick form is just going to give us this basic information we need about your company, your business, how many deals you've done, right? To understand exactly how much information or how much hand-holding we would need to provide in the beginning. Because a lot of it, guys, is if you're not experienced in wholesaling, we do provide a lot of information with tools and videos that we offer. But anyway, so it's a quick form. You fill it out. You get added to a group on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a messenger app that we use for all the communication. In that group, you have 4 people. Myself, you have your account manager. You get an assigned account manager who's there literally, guys, probably 24/7. Those guys do not sleep. It's insane. You get the quality control manager, and you get Adam Barber, who is Felipe Misea's business partner, and he handles our data management side of business. He's the one that helps you guys pull the list and build the data management side of the REI Call Center. After that, you get on an onboarding call with your account manager. We go through the systems that we use in-house that we actually set it up for you. We set up your Zen call dialer, which is a dialer that we use that gives you up to 10 phone numbers that are switched every single bi week. So every 2 weeks, you get 10 phone numbers that rotate so that your phone number never falls into the spam likely. Then Zen Call Dialer also is one of those dialers that lets you record all the calls. So we listen to all the calls, make sure that they're actually quality leads. And then we set up your Asana. Asana is a CRM that we use in-house. The reason why we use it is because it's simple, free, and that's what we started with. Now, if you're using your systems already in-house, Podio, REI Simply, whatever CRM that you are using, we're able to adapt and go ahead and integrate with that system as well. After that call, we explain to you how everything works. You jump on a second call with Adam Barber. Adam Barber actually helps you pull a list. Again, that is something if you need help with. A lot of our clients already experienced wholesalers. They say, hey guys, here's a 20,000 list. Let's go ahead and start dialing, right? So we can go ahead and just skip that call with Adam Barber. But at the same time, you know that Adam Barber is there to always help you with a list in the future if you ever need it. That list is pulled, skip traced. We always recommend skipbetter.com. That's the skip tracing service that we use. It's amazing. Gonzalo was the one that actually recommended it to me. We get the list skip traced. For those of you who don't know what that is, we basically get the phone numbers. Put them into the dialer, start dialing. As soon as that day is over, you get a daily report. Every single day, you get a report on how many calls were made, how many contacts, so how many people actually picked up the phone and had a conversation, how many warm leads that day, and how many hot leads that day were generated, and how many leads total for the month.
Nice. That's an amazing service, because I know that like now I'm still not full-time wholesaling, but just because I don't want to be, but like it's a great service for those who have a W-2 job or don't have the time to make their own or look for their own lead gen. I also think it's like the most cost effective. For $1,099 a month, you're going to get up to like 10, 15,000 phone calls, which with just mailers or texting or, you know, any other marketing, in my opinion, cold calling is like one of the best. Now, I also, Anton, the other day I sat down and I was thinking about it, and I was like, it depends on who you're trying to target off market, whether you're going to send a cold call, a mail, or a text. Give you an example. If I'm looking for let's just say I'm just looking for an equity list, the most amount of equity, I'm probably going to send a mailer or phone call, because it's probably going to be an elderly or somebody that's had the property for a long time that's not using their house as much. So like someone who's 65 probably doesn't need a 2-story, 3,000 square foot home. So I'm going to target them with maybe a mailer and a phone call. But if I'm looking for a listing, let's say I'm looking for a listing downtown or something, and I'm a realtor, then I'm probably going to send a text message, because the people that live downtown are probably texting. So it's strategically, who are you marketing to? And then that's why, in my opinion, I like cold calling, because it reaches bigger demographic of people versus like, I'm not going to send a mailer to a condo downtown to see if they want to sell it, right? Like that just doesn't, in my opinion, just doesn't make sense, right? I'm like, no, I'm probably going to send it to a 3,000 square foot home outside of downtown that's got 2 floors and the person maybe doesn't use the second floor. So it is about like that strategy. But changing a little bit the subject, Anton, can we bring it back to how are you finding cold callers? How did you even like get to that? Because anybody can go hire a $4 cold caller, right? From overseas. Like that's not hard to do. I can get on Fiverr and do that. Why is REI Call Center so much better? Because I mean, I know why, right? I sit in on some of the meetings. We've had clients want to sit in on some of the trainings where our cold callers do. Like I don't want to say what it is, but you tell us, why are the cold callers so much better at REI Call Center? And how do you find them?
Great question. So at REI Call Center, guys, we do have a recruiting team that goes out there and finds these callers. The way that we do this is by looking for three most important things whenever we look for a caller. A caller must have these three things before they are brought into REI Call Center. Number one is they must have really good knowledge of English language, communicative language. They're able to have a conversation, hold a conversation. So English is key. So everybody that we do hire, we're making sure that their English is proficient. Number two is their experience, guys. We started, honestly, in the beginning, we said, oh, we're gonna teach you this stuff, right? Because anybody can be taught, right? But it does take a little bit of time. Now we got to a point, guys, at this point in time, we're actually looking for experience. We're not going to hire anybody with no cold calling experience. It is a very different communication when you get a call coming in versus a call going out, especially if it's a cold call. So we are looking for that experience, and we've been blessed to find these guys that have had experience already, guys and gals have had experience in the past. And number three is, of course, their enthusiasm, their level of energy being in that environment. Now, they go through a week-long unpaid training process during which we go through all the systems, we go through the scripts that we use, we put them on the dialer. Guys, it's a week of unpaid training, which already gives us their dedication that they are interested, they are willing to work for us, right? At the end of that weekly training, they are put on the dialer for 2 hours, because you can sound really nice and great in an interview, enthusiastic and energetic, but after being put on the dialer for 2 hours, you might struggle. So that's when we put them on the dialer, making sure that they do the 2 hours, they are great, they follow the scripts, putting the systems in place, and then we hire them on board. The way we look for them, since when we started, it was a lot of word of mouth, but since then, now we're actually being more consistent about it. So we are looking for through different types of job boards and etc. But anyway, we bring them on board, we train them, and then they're also being managed every single day. This is key, guys. It's not only bringing them on board, it's about managing them and having the quality control in place. We have been able to put quality control in place that will listen to all the calls, and quality control managers actually get on the calls or one-on-one meetings with them. So that is why, and I'm not trying to like sell REI Call Center, guys. It's just a system that we've been able to build that we can be really proud of. And if you come in as a client to us, to REI Call Center, you know you're going to crush it, because we're going to do everything we freaking can by holding as much of your hand as needed in this entire process to make sure you succeed.
And one of the reasons I think that we are so successful with REI is because everyone that is in the system works as either a wholesaler or a realtor. Anton has done it. I have done it. Adam's, like, we still do it. And Diego's our realtor side, right? We have a lot of realtors that use our call center as well. Shout out to Mindy from Rat Race. She's crushing it with a cold call, right? She's listing, wholesaling. Like, it's funny because I feel like the girls do better than the guys. I don't know why, but I feel like they are sharks. Like, have you seen Haley and Catherine? They're crushing it also, right? They have like 2 or 3 deals. They're flipping one. Like, they're monsters. And no, it's not about selling REI. It's about listening to the story and the systems and processes that we have behind it. Like, you can clearly tell that Anton lives and breathes for this stuff. So it's huge. And that's why one of the reasons that I like it as well. So Anton, where do you want to see your business of providing quality cold callers for real estate investors? Where do you want to see it go? Where do you want to see it grow? I know that we've talked in meetings before, because we're pretty hard on ourselves, like the group, like the owners. We're pretty hard on ourselves to be a white glove company, to be a like how can we implement success for our clients? So what are some of the things that you want to do going forward to make the company better as an experience and all that for the clients going forward?
Awesome question, Felipe. And as Felipe always says, guys, you really got to push yourself hard. Treat it as a business. Whatever it is that you're doing, Felipe always says, how can we do better? How can we become better, right? And that's exactly how we've been able to scale this. We have the right managers in place, quality control managers, data managers in place to really help us become better. It's not one person. It's not Anton. It's not Felipe Diego. It's a whole entire team behind the scenes, guys. We have a great freaking management team that I really, really, really am proud of. So to answer your question really quick, Felipe, my goal is to be the number one cold calling company in the nation before the end of the year. But moving forward, it's not only about cold calling. It's about being the number one acquisition management system in place for realtors, real estate professionals, wholesalers out there. I want to take the acquisition process. We have acquisition managers now as well, and put it into a system where you don't even have to worry about it. You say, this is the market that I want to go after. This is the type of properties that I'm buying, and this is what I'm looking for. Then we provide this to you. So my goal is before the end of the year, become the number one cold calling company. But it's not only about cold calling. It's about helping others who you already named. Amazing to see women in this business. Actually, most of our cold callers are female, which is amazing because you guys are just relentless on the phone. But helping them build their business, right? It's not only about REI Call Center. For me, it's more about the client, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I would say, would you not agree, Anton, that 80% of what we talk about and focus on is like, how can we have a better experience for the client and the client's customers or potential customers that they're going to wholesale. Like, I love that we put so much focus on that, as well as systems and processes and things like that. Diego, we should have one of the acquisitions managers and cold callers on a podcast. That would smack, dude. That would be
cool.
Dope. Yeah,
that would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah. One of the things that I do like about REI too is that wholesalers get to, like, time is one of the most important things, right? And if you can capitalize and take on while people are at work, right? You can have a VA that's calling so that when you get off work around 4 or 5 p.m. or whatever, imagine that you can just, because the leads go directly into Asana, right? So maybe while you're driving home, you check your Asana on your phone and you begin to call those people that have raised their hand that want to sell in the next month or in the next 6 months. I believe that is the best use of your time, so that you can try to leverage as much as possible, right? Where all you do is talking to people that have raised their hand rather than talking to so many people asking them the same thing. I feel like you can capitalize much more with that. So that's one of the reasons why I believe the service that we provide can increase the opportunity for people to close more deals.
Diego's all about his time, so I totally get what he's saying on that. Like, you only have a certain amount of hours in the day, 24 at most. But when you hire a cold caller, you're buying their time at a more cost-effective rate. Okay, let's jump off of REI. REI is amazing. It's a great system for wholesalers, realtors, flippers, buy and hold investors to find off-market opportunities. Anton, before we get out of here, though, tell us what your focus on is in real estate right now. I know you're really, really building REI. When are you going to jump back into more investing side of it? Are you going to use a cold caller, or is your main focus right now REI Call Center?
At the moment, Felipe, 1,000% of my time. And I should be careful to saying this because I did say I do have a W-2, guys, but
we all have something in the background.
Dedicated I am and how passionate I am to be able to build REI Call Center. For Felipe, for Diego, for Adam, for myself, for the clients, guys. It's insane. So REI Call Center is definitely going to be part of my focus for the next, at least the end of the year. I do want to go ahead and continue my wholesaling journey. I loved wholesaling. I want to get back into it. I'm definitely going to get a cold caller and acquisition manager, continue that whole process. If I'm able to do a couple flips, guys. But again, going back to the time, you got to focus on it is what you are doing. And I'm a really, really, really big proponent on this, is especially with REI, and you can see it. So definitely REI. But in the future, of course, I would love to do more wholesaling. I would love to keep building my portfolio. I've done that $100,000 flip. Right now I have 4 doors since starting with Rat Race. I know it's not a lot. I know it's not impressive, but at the same time, guys, you got to celebrate your little wins. It's still amazing. It's still great to say that almost a year and a half ago, I had 0 doors. Now I'm up to 4, and it's just going to get better and bigger from there. So that's
my biggest problem in wholesaling, Anton, is like which ones to wholesale and which ones to keep. And I feel like I should have kept all of them, but it's like, that's not a business. That's not the business model. So totally get what you're saying.
That's the tough part.
So Anton, where can people find you? Where can people reach out to you? How can people get in contact with you that might have questions about hiring a cold caller to further their real estate business?
Yeah, guys, Instagram is my number one resource where I communicate and get in contact with people. I answer all of the texts and DMs. Anton Zherelyev is my handle. If you guys have any questions about anything related to my story, REI Call Center, reach out there. We'll be more than happy to connect.
Yeah, and also if anybody does want to go check out what we're all about, definitely check out reicallcenter.com.
I love it. Thanks for jumping on, Anton. See you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Always a pleasure.
The Rat Race to 5 podcast, where we discuss money, mindset, real estate investing, and ways to achieve financial independence. Whether you are a rookie or a veteran needing new ideas for investing or creating side hustles, you're in the right place.